Thank you for grabbing the Know Your Number kit. This is the guided version, and I'm going to walk you through the whole 3-minute tap down sequence so you can follow along with me. So, just a couple of things before we start. You don't need to believe this works for it to actually work. Second of all, it does look a bit odd. You're going to tap on your face along with me, and that's normal for it to feel a bit weird. I still feel silly for about the first 10 seconds every single time. So, before we tap, I just want to tell you a quick thing around why I actually built this kit. So a few years ago, my husband and I started a custom clothing business, and one of my jobs was pressing the designs onto the garments. Using the heat press, hundreds of images going onto the clothing, and there was always deadlines. I absolutely hated that job. It would give me panic attacks every single time I did it. Thankfully, my husband would do that job most of the time. I was responsible for a lot of the other things. But this one time, I was home alone and we had an order that had to urgently go out. And I just broke. I couldn't breathe. I was uncontrollable crying. And I actually ended up vomiting before I'd finished the job. So a few days later, I had to do that exact same thing again. And yeah, I was alone again. But this time before I started, I had done a tapping session. So I was still nervous, still a bit anxious, but I didn't have a panic attack. There was no shutdown. There was no meltdown, and I was able to get the order done. So that's the moment that I stopped treating tapping as some woo-woo thing that people talk about online and started treating it like a tool that actually works. And it works on those days that matter. So now I want you to just have a think about where your nervous system is feeling right now. Is it rate it on a number between 1 and 10? So 1 to 3 is like calm, 4 to 5 is you're feeling a bit activated, but still workable. 6 to 7 is bracing, like a tight chest and can't quite get things started. And 8 to 10 is you're feeling flooded, like your brain is just overloaded. So whatever your number is, that is the right number to start with. You say it out loud if you're alone, or if you'd rather, just hold that number in your head. You can't lower what you haven't named. So this part isn't optional, even though it's the part that everyone wants to skill, myself included sometimes. So quickly, so you know why you're doing this. Tapping is a physical process. So you tap specific points on your body while you're naming what's actually going on inside you. And that combination gives your racing mind a physical job and it signals your body's alarm system to kind of like stand down. And this works when just slow, deep breaths doesn't. Because your hands are busy the whole time, your brain is busy thinking about the things to say, your mouth is busy saying the things. So everything is kind of working together. So we're going to do 3 short rounds, and each one uses the same tapping points, but just different phrases. So if you're ready, we'll get started. I'll just run through the actual tapping points first, and then we'll get started on the actual session. So first of all, we always start on the side of our hand, which is called the karate chop point. Just gentle tapping. You don't need to tap hard, just a few gentle taps. And then the next thing is we move to the eyebrows. So just toward the eyebrows. Next one is the side of our eyes, then under our eyes. And you can use one hand if you want, or both hands. I just prefer using both hands. Then we go under our nose, on our chin, then on our collarbone. Actually, oh, I missed a step on this one, but never mind. On our collarbone, and then top of our head. So that's the whole map. On our deeper sessions, I also add in under the arm. But on this one, I wanted to try and keep it a bit shorter, so yeah, so on each spot, we just want to be tapping, I don't know, 5 to 6 times or however long it takes you to physically speak the thing, like the statement that we're speaking at each step. If you lose your place or you get lost or anything, just you can default back to the karate chop point or whichever point feels more simple or natural for you. All right, so now we're going to take a nice deep breath in and out. Just relax into your seat. Have a think about that number again. And we'll start tapping on the side of our hand and repeat after me. Even though I'm at whatever your number is right now, My brain feels flooded. I'm allowed to feel this exactly as it is, and I deeply and completely accept myself. So we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Even though I'm at whatever your number is right now, and my brain feels flooded, I'm allowed to feel this exactly as it is, and I deeply and completely accept myself. One more time. Even though I'm at whatever your number is right now, and my brain feels flooded, I'm allowed to feel this exactly as it is, and I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, now we're going to go through the other tapping points. So move to our eyebrows. This flooded feeling, side of the eye, stuck at whatever your number is, under the eye. My brain feels maxed out. Under the nose, too much to hold right now. My chin, this tight bracing feeling. On the collarbone, carrying more than I can carry. On top of our head, this flooded, stuck feeling. Back to our eyebrows. I don't have to fix it right now. Side of the eye. I'm just noticing my number. Under the eye. Noticing is the skill. Under the nose. I can feel this and still be safe. My chin. My body is allowed to settle. My collarbone. I'm putting some of this down. Top of our head. And I'm allowed to come down from here. Back to our eyebrows again. My brain has room to think again. Side of our eye. I can choose what's next. Under the eye. My number is moving. Under the nose. I'm safe enough to focus. On our chin. This is coming down. On our collarbone. I trust my body to settle. Top of our head. I get to feel this new number. Stop tapping when you're ready. Take a nice, gentle, big, deep breath in and out. And just relax into your seat. Feel your feet on the floor. And check back in with yourself. Check in with that number again and notice it. Has it moved? Is it higher? Is it lower? Stayed the same? There's no right or wrong answer. So that's it. That's the whole practice. Only takes about 3 minutes if you do the short round. And now it's yours. So you can do this wherever you are. You don't need to have a perfect sequence to do. You don't need a perfect situation. I do this. I do tapping in discrete ways, I suppose you could call it. If I'm in a situation where I'm feeling a bit anxious or nervous, I'm like forever wear hoodies, obviously apart from summer, but I'm forever wearing a hoodie. So what I'll do is I'll put my hands in my pocket and I'll kind of puff them out like a little bit of a tent. And then I'll just use my fingers on the inside and I'll just tap my belly and I'll just repeat to myself, I am calm, I am safe. Um, and maybe something else that's going on, whatever situation it is. You can also just, you know, cross your arms and tap like any kind of tapping and thinking about what it is that's going on and just reassuring yourself that, everything is going to be all right. And that'll help to bring your nervous system down. Excuse me. So next time you feel your chest tighten before you have to head out to a call or a client session or anything like that, anytime you're in a situation where you're feeling a bit nervous, every time you have to answer an email that is giving you a bit of anxiety, you can reach for the tapping session and instead of trying to fight your way through it. So that's exactly the moment that this tapping session was worked forward. So keep the card somewhere that you actually see it. You can pin it to your wall or your notice board or something like that. And the only trick is that it works when you remember it exists. So try and use it. You don't need to do it every day. I mean, for a little bit there, I was doing tapping every day, but now I maybe do it once or twice a week. So it's just a tool to use whenever you need it. So if today's the first time that you've actually felt your number move, you've felt your nervous system calm and relax a little bit, then as I said, that's exactly what this is for. And I run a live version of this practice every week, longer, deeper, with a room full of people doing it together. And if that ever calls for you, it's there. So for now, you did the 3 minutes and your number moved. So that's the whole one. If you want to join us for free weekly tapping sessions that go deeper, hit reply on the bundle email and I'll send you a link to join us. You don't need to have your camera on. You don't need to participate in the chat if you don't want to. You're more than welcome to show up and just hide in the background. We'll run through the session and you can just quietly head on out. You don't need to participate. I just want this to help more people. So if I'd love to see you on our next session. It's actually happening. If you're watching this on Monday, then it's happening tomorrow. But otherwise, we do them every week. So whenever you email me, I will send you the most current link. So talk soon.